welcome back to another lesson. Today we're going to be taking a look at the first official release under their new name, Dancing with Fire from South of Eden, who were formerly known as Black Coffee. Now before we get into the lesson, I just wanted to cover a few things that I'm going to be doing differently going forward from this video. I've been doing a little bit more research on everything and came across some things that I found interesting. So what's going to happen is I'm still going to do Patreon. For those of you who are with me on Patreon, thank you for that. And I'm still going to continue uploading there. Lessons are going to be coming every Tuesday instead of every other Tuesday now. And what's going to happen is Patreon, you guys are still going to get the full thing. Still going to stay at $1 a month. For those of you who haven't got Patreon yet, it's only $1 a month. You get access to all the lessons I've already posted, along with any lessons that I will post weekly. So weekly lessons every Tuesday, and then I'll throw covers in there in between as well. But yeah, I'm going to be making these more frequent. And so for those of you who are on YouTube, you're going to get the intro and like the first verse of the song. So I'll teach you guys like the beginning and see like if you guys end up liking that, then you can go to my Patreon and pay just $1 a month subscription to get the full access to the whole song. And it's just to kind of help balance Patreon and YouTube and still be able to get a little bit of revenue from my YouTube videos as well, because some of you guys may know, my cover videos don't get me any revenue just because of copyright claims, and so I don't monetize them at all, just to stay out of any possible trouble with those. So yeah, I'm still wanting to provide lessons for you guys as well and little tidbits, because I know lots of people have been asking and they're not on Patreon. But yeah, this is I'm offering here it'll be intro and like a verse, and I'll teach you like the gist of the first little bit of the song. And then if you guys like what you're seeing and you like how I'm teaching it, then I'll leave the link down below in my lesson videos for my Patreon page. You guys just got to click on that, sign up. It's $1 a month. Again, it's like the lowest setting I put it on, besides being free. And yeah, you'll get access to all the lessons. They'll all be full lessons, and they're all going super in depth. And I'm still going to go super in depth on YouTube just for the first little part. So yeah, that's how things are going to be working from now on. I'm going to try my best to get uploaded weekly lessons, and then covers in between as well. So yeah, let's get right into this. Also, before I start, thanks guys for 3,000 subscribers. You guys are awesome. I'm not going to do a special video just because to keep doing it every 1,000 seems a little bit much. I will do one at 5,000, and I'll do one at 10,000. And there's potential to have a song released for one of those two in the future. So just a little something I've been working on, and I need some time to do some editing and maybe re-record some new parts. So yeah, thanks guys for 3,000 subscribers. Now let's get right into this. So we're starting in everything's tuned down a half step, as Black Coffee likes to do. So it'll be E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, E flat. And starting right into this intro riff, you're going to be barring two strings, the D string and a G string. So you're going to play 7th fret of the D string and G string with a downstroke, and then that's with your 3rd finger, and then you go with your 1st finger to 5th fret, same strings. So down, up, up, down. Actually, down, up, up, up. So 7th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. And then you go to 10th fret, D string, G string again. This whole riff is on D string, G string. So 10th fret to 7th fret to 12th fret to 10th fret. So these strokes here as well, I'm doing down, up, 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 down, up, up, up. And then back to this. So 7th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret. And you can go then to 5th fret, and then 4th fret, and then 2nd fret. 2nd fret, you can play it twice, but I tend to only play it once. But you can go, I don't know, I just find it easier to mute that and then play it once. So all together, this intro riff. And now it'll be one time through the intro riff, and then you go again. And then I think the drums come in after that point. So then you go over around 2 more times. And on this 2nd fret down here, I tend to also play the A string just to give it some bass. But you got to make sure when you're playing up here that A string is muted, because it might sound good there, but it doesn't sound as good all the way through. So it's almost like an A power chord you're playing there. And then, so once you go out of that riff, this is the tricky part. I found this to be the hardest part of the song, just because of timing. So that was the hardest part of the song right there. So again, you're doing G string, B, or G string, D string, bar. So you're gonna play like an A power chord. So you'll play the A string as well. And 2nd fret, D string, G string. Then 5th fret. And then you'll go with your 3rd finger, and it'll be 7th fret, D string, G string. But you're also gonna bar the B string. And your pinky's gonna go on to 8th fret of the B string. So, and then you pull your pinky off and you play the D string, G string, B string on 7th. So, and then you go to 5th fret, D string, G string, 3, so down, up, down. So 1, 2, 3, and then you go to 7th fret of D and G, twice, up, down, so up, down, and then back to 5th, and then back to 7th, and then back to 5th. So it's very tricky, and if you don't get it first try, don't get super frustrated, because the timing there is so wacky. It took me a while to get that when I was first figuring out the song. So and so going into this riff, so it's going to be on the off beat. So, and once you finish that, you go, it's kind of a pattern of barring 2 strings throughout the song. So then you go to A string, D string, barred, just the 2 of them, 5th fret, and so 5th fret, A string, D string, 7th fret, A string, D string, 5th fret, D string, G string, and then up, down, up on the 7th fret of D string, G string. So, and now going into this verse here, it gets easier. It's only the lead into that verse that the timing is tricky, because now it's just like a funky groove. So going into this, similar, so this is in the verse now. So you'll play that 7th fret, D string, G string, and 8th fret with your pinky on a B string. So like that, and then you pull your pinky off, and then you go to 5th fret, D string, G string, and then 2 times on the 7th, D and G, and then back to 5th, back to 7th, back to 5th. So, and then you go to 5th of the A and D, and then 7th, and then 5th of the D and G, and then up, down, down on the 7th of the D and G. So I'll go back and I'll lead into this. So actually, instead of going back to, you're gonna go down to 7th. You're still gonna go to 7th fret, but you're gonna go on the A and D string, and then you're gonna reach with your first finger and bar the B and E string of the 5th fret. So that funky intro part, that's when you go back up to 7th on the D and G, but then this time, so instead of going, you go, and then you play the B and E string. Now that's going to take some work on your picking hand if you haven't worked on that a whole lot, just to make sure you don't play all the strings, and make sure your left hand is muting those strings as well, so that even if you do hit them, it doesn't make any noise. So and then it goes back in again, same deal. And now this time you go back to 7th fret on the D and G, and then you go again, now you go here on the 7th fret of the A and D. So you see how it's kind of alternating, right? So going into it, down, stays up, now down, and so it continues like that. And once the verse finishes, it goes into another part for the chorus, and that will be covered in the Patreon lesson for those of you who aren't watching on Patreon. For those of you who are, you can skip ahead a little bit, but this is for the YouTube. So as I said earlier, on YouTube I'm going to be covering like intro and first verse type stuff. If you guys like what you see, please feel free to go down, click on the link in the description box to my Patreon page. I will have the full lesson up there. I'm going to be covering now the chorus, as well as the guitar solo, and then after the guitar solo there's another section that they've added in there, which is quite interesting as well. So for those of you who are on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you're not going to come to Patreon, just keep on rocking. I'll see you in the next lesson video. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.